Hello, today we'll be checking out a couple of significant events across the globe in the past 24 hours and the latest updates on Mauna Loa. Starting on Big Island News, 11 p.m. Tuesday night, the leading edge of the Mauna Loa lava flow crossed Old Kona Highway, a dirt road that crosses the Mauna Loa Forest Reserve. Here in this image we can see the Old Kona Highway. Over on HVO they say, forecasts indicate it may take 2 days for lava flows to reach Saddle Road. Now over here on KHON2, they're also watching the lava as it is headed towards the highway. Highway 200. Here is Google Earth. This yellow road up here is Highway 200. And then just south we can see the main caldera. Now this is old imagery, but all these black flows is about where the lava is flowing right now. And they are continuing to say there is no property risk at this time. Taking a look at earthquakes, it looks like the Big Island has seen 31 earthquakes in the past 24 hours, which is a significant downtick. Yesterday, we had a major grouping of earthquakes in Alberta, Canada. Now, starting with the event page for this 5.3 near Peace River, Canada, this originally came in as a magnitude 5.9. It has 305 Did You Feel It reports into the USGS, and it has a Did You Feel It intensity of 6. And a shake map intensity of 7. Here we can see that earthquake, pretty central Canada, Alberta. Taking a look at the Did You Feel It responses, there are actually quite a few responses in Edmonton, up to a MMI of 3. 17 responses for an MMI of 3, which is feelable shaking. Closer to the epicenter, it looks like there was also quite a few responses near Peace River. Now, as a quick note, the shake alert system will be implemented in Canada in the future. This makes me wonder if this system is currently being tested, if this earthquake possibly triggered it. Also, they have a 30% up into a yellow pager for fatalities. Now, looking at the other earthquakes, so I'll go and check the EMSC in a second, but these earthquakes are very spread out, and they are definitely all related because they all happened in somewhat quick succession. We started with this 4.9 at 23:45 on the 29th. 6 minutes later, we saw a 4.6 close to that earthquake. Then about an hour later, an okay distance south, we saw this 5.3. Then about 30 minutes later, there was a 4.3. 20 minutes later, a 4. Then just over an hour later, a 4.5. Taking a look at satellite, it's our friend oil and gas. Now, zooming out a bit and checking out this area, there actually does not appear to be a lot of oil and gas operation compared to an area like Texas. We can go a bit here and we see just some large clusters of pads, but the area doesn't seem to be littered compared to Texas. Although it looks developed, I bet this will all be covered at some point. Now, what's really interesting here is just how far apart all these earthquakes are. They're all around about the default depth of 10 kilometers. Taking a look at Did You Feel It reports, it looks like the first earthquake, a 4.9, had 109 responses. Taking a look at the past 30 days, this immediate area has not seen any other earthquakes. The USGS has no other earthquakes for the past 30 days in Alberta, Canada. Or make that all of Canada except over here in British Columbia. Coming over to EMSC, 5 hours and 48 minutes ago, a 2.7 in Croatia has 300 Did You Feel It reports to the EMSC with an MMI of 3. First one says loud sound, second one says shook, shaking, 2 seconds and was noisy. There was a rumble, loud explosion, sounded like an explosion, the base shook, a good shake, a small boom. Now this earthquake was actually just off coast in the Adriatic Sea. Now coming over here to Raspberry Shake. Looks like that 2.7 was at 16:33 UTC today. Now there is one infrasound Raspberry Shake just northwest of this earthquake. Now, viewing the infrasound data at this station at around 16:33, there does seem to be a small disturbance right at origin time. But then about 3 minutes later, there is a bit of a larger disturbance after origin time. And here is the spectrogram. Now, it is possibly this signal, but there is quite a lot of noise. We can see even after that event, there are events that look similar to it. Coming back to the USGS map, it looks like there was a 2.7 today at 12:09 UTC. Now this was just south of Ukiah or near Talmadge. And this had a 25 Did You Feel It reports. Actually looks like there were 3 earthquakes. Today at 1517, southern Iran saw a major magnitude 5.7 earthquake. That's at a depth of 4.7 kilometers, so it was actually a bit shallow, making it more feelable. Today, at 10:48, there was even a more significant earthquake, a magnitude 5.4 on the North Island of New Zealand. This had a Did You Feel It of 9. Looking at the USGS map, it looks like most of the island felt at least a 2. Now this earthquake did strike in the middle of Lake Taupo. Coming over to GeoNet, we can see a map of earthquakes. I cannot find how many days of earthquakes this is. Now this is actually a very good seismic display. I can move this around and the events on the map will immediately reflect on these live graphs down here. If we look at earthquake magnitudes for about the past 2 months, we can see a sudden increase in magnitude just recently with this earthquake. Earthquake depth, we can also see a big spike. Here's a seismic heliocorder data. We can see lots and lots of seismic activity. Maybe it's getting ready for an eruption. Thank you for checking out today's video and stay tuned for the next one.